Everything you're about to hear is for entertainment purposes only. Listen, have some fun, but don't ever do, believe, or promote anything they say. They're idiots.
Guys, hold up. You should know, this ain't for everybody. Welcome to Savagely Loud. What's happening, people? Welcome back to the show that understands that facts divided by feelings equals failure. I'm Cliff, I'm your host, and if you want to help me get this message out, we're going to get right out of the gate with it. If you want to help me get this message out, get these words out, you can follow me on Instagram, Savagely Loud podcast page on Instagram. On that page, you will find a link to my personal page. That is where I'm most active, is on Instagram on Savagely Loud. You can find me under the same name on Facebook, Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, Rumble. I am also on TikTok, and I am on YouTube. So, guys, if you really want to help me out, please, pretty please, with sugar on top, hit me up on those sites. Give me a follow. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. Do all that kind of good shit. This is the way we do things around here. This isn't polished. This is just shit talking. This is just figuring out what the hell's happening in the world. And guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot to figure out in this world. And I really, honestly, the longer I'm alive, the less I think it's possible. The less I think it's possible to even figure out what is actually happening. I mean, you can broad scale the whole thing, broad spectrum, and say, oh, so this group of people runs things in this way, this group of people runs things in this way, this group of people runs things in this way, and then they all kind of coincide in the shadows, make fucking crappy deals that fuck the people underneath them, and then they move on and make millions and millions and millions and billions and trillions of dollars. Guys, I'm a normal person. I'm just a normal dude. Like I don't have the mental bandwidth to be a world affairs specialist like all these brilliant people that I'm talking about and talking to. Guys, in this life, it's, you know what? Here, let's cut it dry. In this life, you've got to find something that you're good at, something that makes you happy to be good at while you're doing, and then do the ever-loving fuck out of that. Become a master at that. But you can't just pay so much attention to that you don't pay any attention to the rest of the things in life. And that's where normal people are. That's where I'm at. That's where you're at. We have shit to do. We have lives to live. We've got wives. We've got husbands. We've got brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and sons and daughters and dogs and cats and jobs. We have shit to do. So I think that we can all kind of relate to this notion that I think everybody, one of the biggest problems is there's so much going on that we just don't have the bandwidth. We just can't fucking comprehend all of the shit that is going on. And because we get so overwhelmed with the amount of shit that's going on, we completely lose our minds when we figure out who's pulling the strings and what's actually happening in the background. Guys, let's take a look at the world as it is today, okay? And I'm talking today as you're listening. We are in, I don't know, supposedly 13, there's supposedly 13 major conflicts that are going on in the world right now, and we're going to get to those. I've got it pulled up. I'm actually going to go through the conflicts that are happening, and then and who's involved, and then we'll get to the amount, because you're going to understand the sheer amount of organization names, government names, place names, all this kind of shit. But here's the thing, though. We as normal people, it's easy for us to get freaked out. It's easy for us to start losing our ever-loving fucking minds, because every single fucking place we turn, every single direction we look, every single path we walk down is full of some sort of propaganda about some sort of negative shit. most of my, if not all of my content now is based on this shit and trying to fucking kind of work through it, figure it out so that we can unfuck the situation, whether it's together or separately, and we can kind of make a better place out of this world. Now, that being said, like I said earlier, I'm right with you guys. So when I look out across the global landscape and I turn on the Facebooks, I turn on the Instagrams, I turn on the internets, I turn on the TVs, turn on the radio, what do I hear? I hear the same shit you hear. Oh my God, the fucking world is burning down. That seems to be kind of what it is every time you turn on social media, TV, radio. Oh my God, the fucking world is burning down. Oh, we're all gonna fucking die. And we're gonna die by Wednesday if we don't make this something happen. When you hear this shit, guys, let me implore you to take a step back. As soon as you start getting inundated, you start getting bombarded with this negative news, take a step back. First and foremost, you have to realize that this is the way it works. If you think about the way you think about life now, as opposed to the way you thought about life when you were a kid, you'll understand how much closer to your parents you actually see life now. Well, if our parents fucking 20, 30, 40, 50 fucking years ago or whatever, if our parents saw the same world the same way, that has to be indicative that the world isn't changing that much. If not only for the amount of turmoil. See, turmoil is created by greed. Greed is created by that, and greed is based and rooted in that need for power. When people want to become powerful, they get greedy and they start latching on to shit, and the more shit they get, the more opportunity or ability they have to move forward in their mission to conquer or control. As they gain control, the most important thing to understand, and this goes for today too, as we watch all of our politicians, we have 535 people in Congress, and we've got several thousand other politicians that we need to be watching here. But as we see all of these politicians in Washington and our counties and our local municipalities, as we see all these politicians grow, it's important to understand that this is not a new game. This is the same exact game that has been being played since day one. The number one thing they have to do is separate us. They have to separate the people underneath them into little categories, because we're easily manageable as long as we're separated into little categories. When we've got a Republican, representative comes out and he's saying all the illegal immigrants are fucking raping our daughters and eating our cats, this and that. Is there some truth to that? There is some truth to that. It's not all truth. It's very embellished, because it's not all illegal immigrants are raping all of our daughters and eating all of our cats. These are instances that do occur, but it's not every single last one of them. But they have to be shocking. They have to go loud. They have to go above and beyond to get your attention. Well, the other side's going to do the same thing, but they're going to do it on something else. All the they're going to say to combat that, they're not raping anything, blah, blah, blah. They'll make up some bullshit numbers, a rainbow of bullshit numbers. And then they'll start talking about the crops, how everybody in America is going to fucking starve to death without illegal Mexicans picking the fucking crops. We're all going to die. If we don't have illegal immigrants, we're going to die by Wednesday. This is the thing. And once you learn to pick this shit out, and once you learn to understand that they are on the same team, they're two wings of the same bird, man. Republicans want fucking cheap labor, and Democrats want to feel virtuous and buy votes. That's the way this works. That's why every time you see the big immigration question come up throughout the course of history in the United States, you see both sides arguing for illegal immigration. You have your standouts, because everything has to have a controlled opposition. Every position, this is another thing to memorize, to realize. Every single position in life has to have an opposition position. It has to have an opposing position, because if it doesn't have an opposing position, It's unchecked, and nothing in this world is unchecked. I can take you all the way back to my first fucking run-ins with social media and doing personal development stuff. I was telling people they could do better, and everybody fucking told me to shut the fuck up. Who the fuck was I to tell anybody? Blah blah blah. You always have an opposition. Well, that's part of the system to keep us separated, because let's say I'm just Joe Schmo from nowhere. I turn on the TV and I see this Republican talking about fucking illegal immigrants raping daughters and eating our pets. Then I see this Democrat talking about how we're all going to fucking starve to death. Right then and there, because we're tribal creatures, somewhere in my subconscious, I've already chosen a side. Whether it's this side or that side, I've chosen a side. Now, I may not fully agree with all of the things on that side, but I'm going to side with that one because I agree with more of it. The problem comes in is because as we go in through modern society, things get less and less shocking, right? So things that come up in the news, like let's take this transgender bullshit, okay? In 1975, if you had a bunch of dudes pulling this shit, hitting the news, talking about how they're actually women and they can get their periods and they can get pregnant and all this other shit, but these are fucking literal dudes in dresses. That shit would have got stomped out pretty fucking quickly. It just didn't happen. Well, and I truly believe that it is a direct result of people having to outshock the last thing that happened so that they get the eyeballs, because attention is the number one commodity in this world as we know it. Nobody gives a fuck about anything unless they have attention doing it, right? You can take that to any fucking level you want. Nobody gives a single fuck about homeless people unless they can make a video making somebody else feel bad for not giving a fuck about the homeless video or the homeless problem. Then all of a sudden this person gives a fuck, right? Nobody gives a shit about feeding anybody on the streets until they can do it on camera and feel virtuous. Nobody gives a shit about disaster zones, and we see these videos all the time. These are great. No, and it's primarily women. Like 99.9% of these videos that you see are women. They go to these disaster zones, like fucking Florida, when Fort Myers, when they had the big hurricane land, and you can see people filming the devastation, the horror of what's happening in their community. And then out come these girls in their leggings and they're perfectly fucking stitched, everything. They're perfectly clean white shoes. And they bend down, they pick up a hammer, and then they act like they're hitting something. They get a bunch of pictures taken of them, and then they drop the fucking hammer and keep on walking. Nobody gives a shit unless you can do it on camera. If somebody was to catch one of these motherfuckers and say, okay, now keep swinging that fucking hammer, they would fucking deny you so fucking bad. If you say so fast, if you said, hey, why don't you pick that fucking hammer back up and actually do something to help the community, they would look at you like you had two heads. Why? Because being a human is no longer the thing. Having the eyeballs, having the attention is the thing. So what do I have to do to get the attention off of the person that had it before me? I have to be more shocking. Well, that leads us all the way to 2025, where I'll bet you could say yourself, you're not shocked by that much. I'm not shocked by that much. I feel like I'm not shocked by anything anymore. If I woke up and figured out that I wanted to suck 1,000 dicks, I don't even know if I'd be shocked anymore because of what I keep seeing in the media. When the world ceases to shock you, you need to take a step back, okay? Because also what's going to fucking happen when the world ceases to shock you, you will subconsciously look for shocking things. You will look for things, new things to be shocked about. When you find those, you will immediately have that visceral response. You will pick a side, and now you're going to be mad about that. Well, you do that enough and your life fucking sucks. And I think that's a lot of what we're seeing right now in the world. Everybody's fucking lives suck. Now, I'm not saying everybody's lives suck in the same way. I'm saying everybody's lives suck on the basis that in order to get the attention, it can't be for anything good. And here's actually something Obama brought up that I actually agree with. Very few things that piece of shit ever fucking said that I agree with. But this is one of the things that I actually agreed with him wholeheartedly on. And it was just this one segment, so don't fucking apply this agreement to his entire speech that this was in. But he said one of the big things that we should be focusing on is creating a social media algorithm that doesn't reward the negativity while basically putting down or hiding all the positive shit. I wholeheartedly agree with that. If we could do that, we would be China. If we could do that, we would be Ukraine. If we could do that, we'd be anybody else but America. But it seems like America has to feed on the negative bullshit. It has to feed on confrontation. Like, the sun doesn't shine unless I get to yell at somebody today. The sun doesn't shine unless I get to demean somebody today. The sun doesn't shine for me in my life unless I get to be judgmental as fuck about somebody I know nothing about and put them into a box. That's where they're going to live forever. Fuck that person. Now the sun is shining. Okay, cool. We can go on about our day. That's how a lot of people in America fucking think. That's why the algorithms we have here reward negativity. The other reason is more nefarious. The reason that the algorithms, and this is all my opinion, I'm fucking stupid. You should not believe a goddamn word I say. Do your own fucking research. But I truly believe in my heart of hearts that the algorithm in America rewards negativity because it needs us to separate. More so than anybody, it needs us to separate because America is the last bastion of the true free Western civilization. The UK has fallen all the fucking way. It's a fucking hellhole. You wouldn't want to go in a million fucking years now. Most of Europe has fallen as well. That's a fucking Paris has got one of the biggest hellholes on the fucking planet now. Everywhere you look has fallen. You get to America, and America is still standing. America is still, I'm going to air quote the ever-loving shit out of this word. America is still free, but we're still clean for the most part. We can still live our lives. We can still make some money. We can still have a good time. We can still have some freedom. We can still have some conversations and such. Well, the rest of the world seems to fucking hate this. And what I laugh most about this is because Keir Starmer is one of the world's biggest pieces of shit. If there was a Mount Rushmore of 10 people of the biggest pieces of shit in history, Keir Starmer would definitely be on that monument. And he is the one that single-handedly fucked the UK. He has been working on this for a long time. And now watching his reaction to it is fucking beautiful. I'm so sorry for all the people that live in there, the normal fucking people that didn't want none of this shit. My heart breaks for you watching your communities fall. We're watching ours fall here in America too, just not to such a drastic extent. But my heart does break for you. But watching that motherfucker realize what he did is incredibly fucking validating. It's incredible to watch such a piece of shit actually have to battle with his human side, because most politicians are evil. Most politicians, they just want the fucking power. They want the control. They want to feel like they're the ones pulling the fucking strings. They want to be a fucking mob boss, but legally, so they could be a politician. Well, when you see these politicians as they come up, that human side of them fades out more and more and more and more and more. And the next thing you know, you're looking at people that ain't even fucking human. You're looking at people like fucking Klaus Schwab. You're looking at fucking people like what's the fucking guy that just took over the WEF? He used to be the CEO of Nestle, and he said that people don't have a right. There's no human right to clean water, because he wants to take control of all the water and bill people for it. But there are people like this they have lost their humanity, 100% lost their humanity. They're a lot like middle managers that are way too addicted to their job. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows, like, this manager is just a fucking manager. It's a floor manager. It's like nothing super special. There's 8 managers above him, like, but this dude takes everything hyper seriously. This motherfucker is willing to fire the entire staff for one drip of fucking piss on the seat, this and that and the other thing, when after customers use it. Like, this dude takes everything super seriously. If you don't stack the bags, correctly, or you don't fucking line up the straws, whatever it might be, everybody knows that guy. Everybody knows that gal who fucking takes that middle management position way too seriously. They lose the side of them that respected their coworkers. They lose the human side of them that respected the struggle that it took them to get there. Even if it is a low-end, low-rent fucking middle management position, it was still a struggle to get there, because the way America works now is not ever the way we've been taught. We're all taught that you do good, you become a master at something, and then you run the place. That's not it. As soon as you become a master at something, you never go anywhere, because that company, whoever you're doing the best job for, is going to keep you in that position, so they don't have to fill it. They don't have to fucking train anybody. They don't have to hope that somebody's as good as you are. Well, it takes a lot to break out of that cycle, even if it is just to middle management. But these people forget what it felt like to feel like you were going nowhere. They forget what it felt like to go to work every single fucking day and have no goddamn hope. They forget what it felt like to look at the middle manager that was fucking taking their job too seriously and hate that motherfucker. Just despise that motherfucker from top to bottom because of how he treated people. They become that. That's how politicians are. They become... their human side just goes away, and they become this fucking machine. They don't care about bloodshed. They don't care about war. I mean, look at fucking Lindsey Graham. We got to go over there and get those minerals before Putin gets them. That's $12 trillion worth of minerals. Dude, the guy is fucking nuts. Fucking Lindsey Graham, I stand firm on my stance that Lindsey Graham would nuke the entire fucking planet if he felt like it could get him a couple of more bucks in his bank account. The entire motherfucking planet. He don't give two fucks about nothing but his bank account. So when he sees an opportunity to fucking get into a war, start a war, invest in the war and his buddies' war companies, he's gonna fucking take it. Where is the humanity in that man? Where is the humanity? Where's the part of him that is supposed to see all fellow men as equals? Where is the part of him that looks at fucking at video footage of people blown to shit in wars that he was involved in getting going? Where's the part that looks at all that and feels bad? You're never going to see a fucking politician look at fucking war-torn areas and blown to shit people and see him feel bad. Guys, I just noticed in the camera, this is directly after work, dude. I haven't fucking shaved. I'm still in my work shirt. I'm filthy as fuck. So, I'm not just a fucking filthy hobo pile of shit talking shit on the internet. I just got home from work and I just had to get this shit out because it was flowing. I had some other shit to go. I got some other shit to do and whatever, but that's why I'm filthy. So, hey, I work too. Ha! 2 thumbs up. But anyway, where's the fucking humanity in the politicians? Are you the kind of person that could say, well, okay, here, let's do example. Because I'm all about the Iran thing right now. Because the Iranian government is the biggest pile of fucking human waste ever to bless this fucking planet, right? Like, ever to grace this fucking planet. The Iranian leadership is the biggest pile of shit. Brought to you by me. Bought it from the gas station. Nope, no sponsors. I do like Black Rifle a lot, though. But anyway, where the fuck was I? I started talking about Black Rifle coffee and my brain just went to shit. But Iran, anyway, their leadership is the biggest pile of shit. And the reason I say this is because it is. You look at it. I mean, dude, women don't have any rights. Women have to wear burqas. Like, women have to be completely covered head to toe. And they're not allowed to speak. They're not allowed to address anyone. They're not allowed to do shit. Gay people get stoned to death in the fucking city. I mean, dude, we can do a whole fucking episode on why Iran's fucking leadership is shit. Okay. But if I told you, I said, hey man, I got this red button over here. if I push this red button, Iranian government could never hurt another fucking person. But it's going to kind of take the Iranian people with it. You'd be like, yeah, that seems like a pretty hefty ticket, man. I don't know if we could do that. I don't think it's in my heart to be able to wipe out 92 million people to clear out a government. That's where we differ from the politicians. Politicians goes, take them out. Fuck them. Gotta go. The politicians can literally look dead into people's eyes and say, we have to go kill 90 fucking million people because we need their government that doesn't agree with us to be out of there so that we can have a government that does agree with us. That's politicians. And that's one of the biggest mistakes we the people make when we talk about wars and we talk about politics and we talk about the governments and we talk about the way things work. Everybody has a tendency to think that these people, these politicians, these elite rulers of the world think like we do. They don't. They don't think like we do. They don't think at all like we do. We think about the human side of things, the humanity of it, the pain, the suffering, the fucking, the turmoil. We think about this. They think about more control for me. I'll have more pull in this region. My words will carry more weight in that region. I'll have more money in my bank account. That's what they think about. So when you're looking at this and you're assessing all of this shit, understand you're assessing it from a position they are not assessing it from, right? So for my personal opinion, the Iranian government is, like I said, the biggest pile of shit on earth, and it needs to be wiped out faster than, as fast as you can imagine. I am not willing to take the Iranian people with it because the Iranian people hate the fucking government too. They're a lot like Americans and Chinese people and Ukrainians and Russians and everybody fucking else. We hate our fucking governments. Every last one of us across the goddamn globe hate what the fucking government is doing to us. I'm not willing to fucking kill a bunch of people that feel like I do. Maybe they feel like feel a little differently. Maybe they feel that way on the other side of the fucking world. Maybe I'm never going to meet them. Maybe I'll never go to their land. But it doesn't mean that they need to get wiped off the fucking map because they have a shitty government. Because I'll tell you this, and now this is coming from somebody that goes hard in the paint, guys. When I go fucking hard in the paint on some Iran shit, some Muslim shit, some black culture shit, I go fucking hard in the paint. Like there's no other way to put it. And I still don't think they need to get wiped out. I think they need to get adjusted very heavily. Some of them do need to get wiped out, like the Iranian government and anything fucking any Sharia law based pile of shit that fucking happens to mosey in behind it. That needs to get taken out too. But I'm not willing to kill all the people that feel like I do about their government, because here's the thing: if you really look at history, you got two governments that if you're gonna fucking destroy an entire people, if you're totally okay with destroying an entire population of people based on what their government has done, you're looking directly at the U.S. and you're looking directly at fucking Israel, because our two countries have done more to fuck with the status quo of every single fucking thing that has ever happened on this planet than anybody. So we have to provide some grace. And this is going to you guys. The motherfuckers look like me, sound like me, talk like me, act like me, have a lot of the same perspectives I got. You guys, my brothers, my sisters, we need to talk about this, because I hear you guys. I hear you talking a lot of fucking shit about how, any fucking government or any country with a government that is that bad that deserves to be taken out. Our government's fucking terrible. Our government has done some horrific shit. Our government has been complicit in a lot of fucking shit that would shock and appall most people if they ever found out about it. Epstein files. Our entire government is in there, but that's why we haven't seen them. But there are other things too. So, and all the other world and the rest of the world has this. You see, the rest of the world might not see all the great shit that happens in America, but the rest of the world's governments definitely show them the bad shit that happens in America. And we have plenty of that too. So guys, when you're going to go on the internet and you're going to talk a bunch of shit, please just do me a favor, do yourselves a favor. Just know what the fuck you're talking about, and at least what angle to approach it, because you're kind of fucking up our side of things here. So, but now I had mentioned earlier that because there's supposedly 13 different major conflicts happening right now. And how the fuck are you supposed to know what's going on? Because there's so many different groups and organizations and battles and wars and strikes and insurgencies. So let's just go through it. We're going to go through, I got the 13 major conflicts that are happening right now. We're going to do each one real brief. I'm going to tell you what it is, what number it is, where I think it's where they have it ranked. This is 247wallstreet.com. But we'll go through a real brief. I'll tell you what it is, who's involved, when it started, and all these are supposedly ongoing. So they have shifted. You're going to see a couple of them that have shifted. The face of it has shifted a little bit, but it's still ongoing. So number 13, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This is number 13 world major conflict that we hear about consistently, and rightfully so, because Israel's going absolutely fucking crazy and just bombing everybody in their general vicinity. So number 13, Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Type of conflict is a territorial dispute. The start date was May 14th, 1948. Anybody care to take a guess on when Israel was founded? Forces currently involved: Israel, Palestine, and Hamas. Hamas is a fucking piece of shit terrorist organization that funnels billions and billions of dollars away from the Palestinians and into their own fucking pockets. But, another show. Continent, that's happening in Asia. That seems weird. Middle East. I have such a hard time. Like sometimes these Middle Eastern areas are considered Asia. Sometimes they're just the Middle East. Sometimes they're... but anyway. Number 12, the Somali Civil War. Type of conflict, civil war. Start date, January 27th, 1991. Forces currently involved: Somali Democratic Republic, Ethiopia, Islamic Courts Union, Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, and the Islamic State. Continent that's happening in Africa. Number 11, the Allied Democratic Forces insurgency. Now, you will very rarely ever hear them referred to by full name, Allied Democratic Forces. That is the ADF. You will hear them as the ADF. That's what you'll always hear them as. They are a terrorist or insurgency. The start date of this conflict was November 13th, 1996. Forces currently involved: Allied Democratic Forces, the ADF, Uganda, the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the Islamic State. Continent, Africa. Shocking, shocking, shocking. Number 10, the Mexican drug war. Type of conflict, drug war, which I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't necessarily know that this really fits into the same category as Israel, Palestine. I mean, like the Ukraine, Russia, China, Taiwan. I don't know if this fits in there. This is a bunch of fun. I mean, it gets nasty, but it's a drug war. I don't know if it fits in there, but hey, they got it listed, so I'm going to read it. But we do hear about it, so I guess I can take a step back off that stance, because we do hear about this consistently. So the number 10, Mexican drug war. Type of conflict, drug war. Start date, December 11th, 2006. I feel like the war on drugs started a long time before that. As a kid from the DARE program that really didn't do anything. Forces currently involved: Mexico, the Sinaloa cartel, the CJNG, which I have no fucking idea what the CJNG. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never heard of it before. Let's see if we can find out. And that's a negative. The Gulf Cartel and numerous other cartels. Continent, North America. Okay, so here, let's talk about this really quickly, because this is another thing. I mentioned it, and I don't know if it was on some of my social media content or in the last podcast. This is a thing they're doing now. They're sliding Mexico from Central America, where it used to be always labeled. They're just kind of wrapping it into North America. they're kind of just wrapping Central America in with America and Canada, the United States and Canada. And because it takes a lot of the focus off of the Central American fucking gigantic problem that we have. So just keep an eye out for that. You'll notice these little tactics, these little tricks that these people pull on us by saying, oh, it's happening in the continent of North America. Bitch, that's in Central America. You're just trying to take my focus away. So next one. Number 9, the Boko Haram insurgency. Boko Haram is a fucking nasty organization. Type of conflict, terrorist insurgency. Start date, July 26th, 2009. Forces currently involved: Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad, Niger, Benin, Boko Haram, ISIL, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Ansaru, and Ghana. I don't know what Ansaru is. I've never heard of that. Maybe it's a country. I don't know. Maybe Benin's a country too. I've never heard of that one either. But yeah, so let's keep going. Number 8, Syrian civil war. Type of conflict, civil war. Start date, March 15th, 2011. Forces currently involved: Syria, Iran, Russia, Hezbollah, Syrian Salvation Government, Al-Qaeda, Islamic State, Magawir al-Thawra. Yeah, Magware. Number 7, Mali War. Okay, type of conflict, terrorist insurgency. Start date, January 16th, 2012. Forces currently involved: Mali, Al-Qaeda, Islamic State, Boko Haram. That's happening in Africa, and I don't think I read this one. The continent is Asia for the Syrian civil war. And number 6, instability in Pakistan. I don't know if you needed to label this. I don't know if you needed to list this one. Pakistan's never been stable. You're just gonna list it as a major conflict because the fucking country's in turmoil. If we're gonna list every fucking country that's in turmoil due to its own fucking people, we're gonna be here a long fucking time, guys. But anyway, since they got it listed, I'll read it. Number 6, instability in Pakistan. Type of conflict, terrorist insurgency, because that's all the only people who live there. Start date, June 15th, 2014. Forces currently involved: Pakistan, Tehreek-e-Taliban, Pakistan. Yeah, Tehreek-e-Taliban, Pakistan. Yeah, should I say that right now? Tehreek-e-Taliban in the Pakistan. It's happening in Asia. Number 5, Yemeni civil war. Type of conflict, civil war. Start date, September 16, 2014. Forces currently involved: Government of Yemen, Houthi-led Supreme Political Council, pro-Hadi Alimi Security Forces, Yemen National Army, Al-Qaeda, Islamic State, and non-aligned tribal forces. Whatever the fuck that means. Number 4, Afghanistan conflict. Type of conflict, terrorist insurgency. Start date, February 2, 2015. Forces currently involved: Afghanistan, Taliban, Al-Qaeda, and the Islamic State. Continent it's happening is Asia. Number 3, Iraq conflict. Type of conflict, terrorist insurgency. Start date, December 9th, 2017. This is forces currently involved is Iraq and the Islamic State. Continent in Asia. Myanmar. Some people say Myanmar. Some people say Myanmar. Civil war. Type of conflict, civil war. Start date, May 5th, 2021. Forces currently involved: National Unity Government and State Administration Council. Anything called unity is probably up to no fucking good. That's happening in Asia. Number 1, the Russia-Ukraine war. And I gotta fucking tell you, I don't know if this is even should be really number 1. This is a giant money laundering scheme. I don't know if this is number 1 on the war chart, but type of conflict, territorial dispute. Start date, February 24th, 2022. Forces currently involved is Russia and Ukraine, and the continent is happening and is in Europe. Now, as I said, I wanted to address the overwhelming amount of names in these fucking articles, in these wars, these conflicts. I mean, Allied ADF forces, Uganda, DRC, the Islamic State, Al Shabaab, Ethiopia, SDR, the fucking, like, how do you hear these names on even a weekly basis, quasi, semi-daily, bi-daily, whatever? How do you hear all these fucking names rattled off at you and not just have your fucking head spinning? I think that's where a lot of us are at, where our heads are spinning because there is so many fucking things that happening and we're told that they matter. And here's where I'm going to probably lose a couple of fucking people, because I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm tired of fucking pretending that I give a shit. I'm tired of fucking pretending that I give a single rat's ass what is happening in Asia. I'm tired of pretending that I give a shit about what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Palestine, China and Taiwan, the entire fucking Middle East with the entire fucking Middle East. Like, I'm tired of pretending I give a shit. This is where the line has to get drawn, though, because when you get into the state of mind where I'm at, where I'm just tired of pretending I give a shit, it's real easy to slide into that mental zone of not giving a fuck about the people that are involved. You see, it's really easy for us not really being involved in any of this shit. It's really easy for us to just say, fucking make a parking lot, turn it into a parking lot so we can be done. Because as we can see, everything in fucking Asia, it seems to be fucked, because that's where all these things are. Asia and Africa seem to be everywhere the most negative shit is happening. So it's real easy when you look at that and you say, holy shit, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on these wars, this and that. Our people are fucking dying. Our people are fucking stationed over there. They're getting whatever. It's really easy to go, fuck the people of fucking China. Fuck the people of Iran. Fuck the people of Saudi Arabia. Fuck the people of fucking wherever. Just kill them all so I can stop hearing about it. It's important that we keep our humanity at that particular moment. It's important that we maintain a visual on the fact that those people are just like us. Those people don't like what's happening. You think any of the fucking women in Iran really like wearing fucking full burqas and what are they, sharaks or some shit in Pakistan or Afghanistan? When it's like 1,000 degrees outside, you really think these broads like this shit? Nobody likes this shit. So we have to maintain that sight that these people are us and we are them. Like there's a lot of shit. I think everything that they come up with, if you had everybody across the globe list out the shit about their government that they absolutely fucking despise, we'd all have a pretty big list. That's the way it works. We would all have a pretty big list. Based on that fact alone, the fact that we would have a pretty big list, it gives us something to talk about. It gives us a fucking common ground to start from to understand the humanity that we have that the people above us don't have. Of course, that brings into question, well, what the fuck do you do, right? All the leaderships of all the leaders of all the countries are fucked. That's what it kind of seems like. When every time you hear a leader that did something really fucking great, he gets capped. Every time you hear a leader that's doing something really great, you find out some really fucked up shit in the shadows. It always seems to happen. So I would ask you to do yourself a favor and just be tired. Be sick and fucking tired of pretending like you care. In fact, be so tired of pretending that you care that you stop acting like you care. You are more than welcome to vent. You're more than welcome to fucking blow out the lines, to get it all out, to just piss and moan about some shit because it's overwhelming. Just don't lose your humanity. You lose that part of you, and I know this because I had lost this part of me for a long time. And when you lose the part of you that gives a shit about life in other people, you lose the part of you that gives a shit about life in yourself. You can't respect, love, and cherish your own life. You cannot live your life doing yourself justice if you have no respect for life abroad, if you have no respect for life around you. Now, again, I'm going to draw some fucking heat from this shit because stupid people, they see my little bits and clips of my content and they think a very different thing of me. I am not of the thinking that any civilization should be wiped out. And that's coming from a person that hates the Muslims like with a fucking passion. That fucking religion is the most disgusting piece of shit that ever hit this fucking planet. But I will not say I think that they all need to get wiped out. Because I'm human. Because I know somewhere in those radically fucking stupid fucking assholes is a human. Is somewhere deep under the skin of the monster that believes in Islam is a person that I can have a conversation with. It's a person that might like cherry pie. It's a person that might like birthday cake. It's a person that might like, a nice steak or something. Yeah, we might have some common ground that we can start this conversation on. You know what I mean? So that even being to that extent, I still don't want people to fucking die. And my life is better because I respect life. Now, that's not to say that I will not jump up assholes with both feet repeatedly until it's fucking splattered everywhere. Once you've earned your position in life to where you don't get the respect, you don't deserve the respect of respecting human life. Like once you have earned the position of people looking down upon you because you've disrespected or taken human life, you're a fucking monster. And I can tell you this, I got some shit living in me. Right? I got some shit living in me that if any government officials are, I can handle some shit. I can take care of some business on some really crappy motherfuckers. I'm just putting it out there. I can turn that part off. As soon as I know somebody fucked somebody really badly or a whole big group of people, I could have some fun with this shit. And I'm not the only one. There's a lot of motherfuckers. You guys, you're listening going, yeah, let's take that motherfucker apart. I bet you half you motherfuckers are already thinking about what you do. I'd lay that motherfucker down. I'd strap him to the table. I'd put that towel over his head and get that waterboarding going. And then meanwhile, I'd be clipping his toenails just a little bit too deep, like to the ankle. I know we talk. But all of that aside, guys, when you look at across the world, it's overwhelming. And let's have a minute to be honest with ourselves. It's fucking overwhelming. What do you believe? I mean, dude, we've been in and out of World War III. I know you can hear my dog clacking every time I decide to fucking record. She needs to do laps around the fucking house. But everywhere we fucking look, I mean, like, dude, there's war. We've been in and out of fucking World War III, I think 366 times in the last 2 fucking days. At one moment, it's fucking World War III's bombing off. The next moment, literally, it's all averted. The next moment, World War III, World War III's off, World War III's on, World War III's off. It's so fucking overwhelming. If you don't turn it off, even just for a little bit, you're going to fucking go nuts. You're just going to fucking go crazy. So that's what I think you should do. I think everybody should take a day soon, maybe not right away. Maybe you got some things going on, but take a day soon. Turn the fucking TV off. Turn the fucking social media off. Turn off Facebook. Turn off Instagram. Turn off everything. Do your own little experiment. We'll call it learning, okay? Trust the science. I said trust the science, and I've kind of felt like I wanted to take over some shit all of a sudden. Something about that phrase makes me feel powerful. But take a day, turn it all off. Do your own experiment. See how you feel. Do you see all this pain and misery? Do you see all the turmoil and all the strife? Do you feel the impact of all the wars happening, all the insurgency, the terrorist insurgencies across the world? Do you feel the impact of that if you turn off all the social media, all the TV, all the radio? You don't. You might feel it if you go grocery shopping because the shit's expensive right now, and it probably will be forever, but that's about your only run-in, as far as major world conflicts, major regional conflicts across the globe. That's about the extent of it is we're being force-fed this shit to keep us in a tizzy. We're being force-fed this shit just nonstop, 24 hours a fucking day to keep us confused, to keep our heads spinning, to keep us not knowing what we really fucking think, what we really want, what we really believe, what we really hope for. It's to keep us spinning. Guys, if you don't want to be spinning, all you got to do is get off the merry-go-round. You just got to step off the ride. Do that for a day. Step off the ride and see if there's major things out there that are really affecting you in your day-to-day life. Go for a drive. Go for a walk around the mall. Go grocery shopping. Go for a walk around the forest preserve. Do something out in public, and I'll promise you, as long as you're not being inundated with all this screen media telling you that you're supposed to feel this way about Israel and that way about Ukraine and this way about Taiwan and that way about Japan and this way about fucking, as long as you don't have that, I guarantee your life will be a little bit fucking better. And that's how we are going to segue into the end of the show. Every single fucking episode, we talk about some really crappy shit, okay? But nobody wants to go walk off with all that, so we got a little fucking segment we like to call Hopelessly Human, and it starts a little bit like...
People can be really rough. They can be quite tough. They can get in the way, but at the end of the day, some aren't only stupid, some are hopelessly human.
Oh, man. I just love that. I really, really do. All right, today, Hopelessly Human. I got a cool one. I got a really cool one. So I searched the internet for this stuff, for just stories of people being good to people, because that's the whole point of Hopelessly Human, is just walking away from every episode, not pissed off, not in turmoil, not thinking about bad shit, but understanding that humanity still exists. There are still people out there that do good shit for other people. And this is a story of one. And I really like this one because it's a young person and an old person. We've got two extremes here. So the story goes, in a bustling city park, an elderly woman named Margaret sat alone on a bench, her eyes filled with sorrow. The world seemed to pass her by, and she felt invisible, lost in her thoughts of a life that once was. Her beloved husband had recently passed away, leaving her family empty and disconnected from the world around her. One sunny afternoon, a young girl named Lily skipped through the park, her laughter ringing out like a melody. As she passed Margaret's bench, Lily noticed the sadness on the woman's face. Without hesitation, the little girl approached Margaret and asked, "Why are you so sad?" Surprised by the child's question, Margaret shared her story of loss and loneliness. Lily listened intently, her young heart filled with compassion. From that moment on, Lily made it her mission to bring joy back into Margaret's life. Every day after school, Lily would visit Margaret in the park. They would talk, laugh, and share stories of their lives. Margaret began to look forward to these meetings, feeling a renewed sense of purpose and connection. Lily's simple act of kindness had become a lifeline, pulling Margaret out of her despair. Lily learned valuable lessons from Margaret's life experiences as their friendship grew. Lily's youthful enthusiasm and love for life reignited a spark within Margaret's heart. Together, they discovered that age was no barrier to friendship and that a helping hand could come from the most unexpected places. Weeks turned into months, and Margaret's world began to shine brighter. Lily's family embraced Margaret as their own, inviting her to dinners and family gatherings. The once lonely widow now had a loving support system, all thanks to a little girl's compassion. This inspiring story reminds us that a simple act of kindness can change someone's life. By reaching out to those in need, we can bring light into their darkest days and create meaningful connections that transcend age and circumstance. Lily's compassion and Margaret's resilience demonstrate the power of human connection and the importance of lending a helping hand to those who are struggling. Guys, I loved that fucking story. I know I'm going to fucking suddenly get all out. I love that story. I just love that fucking story. You know why I love that story? Because in this day and age, we spend so much time talking about how young people don't have the heart that young people had in the yesteryears. And when I was a kid, or when my parents were a kid, or my grandparents were a kid, we spend so much time kind of bagging on the young ones. And there's young ones like this all over the place. There's young people like this all over the place that maybe they just needed a trigger. Maybe they just needed a circumstance that they had to deal with, or that they felt compelled to deal with. for that greatness to come out of them. Because let me tell you something. This little girl here, this Lily in this story, is phenomenal. She's a phenomenal human being because she has the humanity. She has that part of her that cares about other people more so than she cares about herself. She took the time out of her day. This is a little kid, man. She's got all sorts of playing to do, all sorts of friends to yap with, all sorts of, jumping and fucking whatever, playing around. She felt compelled to forego all of that because the humanity in her was telling her to take care of this old lady. And I think that's fucking powerful. I'm out.